Good morning, my friends. How are you feeling today? When you stood up out of bed, did your legs feel steady and strong or a little heavier than last week? I want you to pause for a second and think about that. Because what you feel in your legs each morning tells a story, sometimes a story we do not notice until it is too far along. If you eat breakfast most days, type 1 in the comments. If you usually skip breakfast, type 0. I read every one of these, and your answers help me know what to share with you next time. I am Dr. William Johnson. You are watching Lifewell Seniors, where each week I bring you senior wellness tips that you can actually use in real life. Today, I am going to share the number one food I recommend you eat first thing in the morning if you want to stop your leg muscles from wasting away. And here is something you may not believe for many seniors. This one food can help rebuild muscle even faster than hours at the gym. When your body is missing the nutrients it needs to grow stronger. I'm saying this not as a trend or a miracle fix. I am saying it as a physician with over 30 years of experience, who has seen hundreds of patients regain strength they thought was gone forever. We are talking about a safe, affordable, and simple change you can make starting tomorrow morning. In this video, I will show you, number 1, why your leg muscles weaken after 60, even if you are active. Number 2, the exact nutrient that switches on your body's muscle building system. Number 3, the everyday food that delivers this nutrient better than most supplements. Number 4, a simple daily habit that, when paired with this food, can double your results. I will also give you real patient stories, the latest research from trusted American universities, and step-by-step ways to fit this into your lifestyle. Now, I need you to do something for me. Stay with me until the very end, because the final tip I share could be the turning point the moment you start feeling strong on your feet again. I have seen it give people in their 70s the confidence to walk without fear of falling, and I want that for you too. Before we get started, let us connect. Have you noticed changes in your leg strength in the past year? Maybe you find it harder to get up from the couch, or you have stopped taking long walks because your legs tire quickly. Drop a comment below. Your story could encourage someone else watching right now who feels the same way, but has not spoken up. And if you want to keep learning the best senior wellness tips that are backed by science and proven in real life, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you will never miss a health tip that could change your life. All right, let us get into it. The first thing we need to understand is why your leg muscles are changing after 60. And it is not just about exercise. There is something happening inside your body that you might not be aware of. Now, my friends, let us talk about the why. Why do your leg muscles seem to shrink and lose strength as the years go by, even if you stay active? There is a medical term for this, sarcopenia. It is a condition where your body gradually loses muscle mass and strength as you age, and it does not happen overnight. For most people, it starts quietly in their 40s, speeds up in their 50s, and by the time you are in your 60s, you can lose as much as 3% of your muscle mass every single year if nothing is done to stop it. Think about that for a moment. 3% each year might not sound like much, but over 5 years, that is 15% of your muscle gone. Over 10 years, you could lose a third of your strength. That is the difference between walking up a flight of stairs without thinking about it and struggling to make it halfway. The main reasons this happens are not a mystery to doctors. Number 1, hormonal changes. As you get older, your body produces less growth hormone and less testosterone, both of which play a role in keeping your muscles strong. Number 2, lower activity levels. Even if you try to stay active, chances are you move less than you did when you were younger. Number 3, nutrition gaps. Many seniors simply do not get enough high-quality protein or the right amino acids to trigger muscle repair. Let me give you an example from my own practice. I had a patient named Carol. She was 68. She walked every morning a full mile around her neighborhood. She thought she was doing everything right, but she came to see me because she felt her legs getting weaker, her balance less steady. We checked her diet, and guess what? She was only getting about half the protein her body needed to maintain muscle, let alone build it back up. And here's the thing. When you do not give your muscles the building blocks they need, even exercise will not give you the results you want. It is like trying to build a house with no bricks. You can have the workers and the tools, but without the materials, nothing gets built. Now, science has shown us something very important. Research from the National Institutes of Health found that older adults who combined proper protein intake with light resistance training built muscle significantly faster than those who exercised alone. And in some cases, when seniors had been lacking certain nutrients for years, adding those nutrients back in gave them results faster than exercise alone. That is why I am telling you, nutrition is not just part of the picture. For many people over 60, it is the missing piece. And without it, your muscles will keep wasting away, no matter how many miles you walk. Let me pause here and ask you, have you ever increased your exercise but still felt weaker over time? If that sounds familiar, type yes in the comments. You might be surprised how many others here will say the same thing. In a moment, I am going to share the exact nutrient your muscles are begging for, and the one food that is the easiest way to get it every single morning. But before we go there, I want you to remember this. Losing strength is not inevitable. You have control over it if you give your body what it needs. All right. My friends, let us talk about what the science says. Because when it comes to rebuilding muscle after 60, facts matter. Your muscles are made of protein. Every time you use them walking, climbing stairs, even standing up, tiny fibers inside the muscle get stressed and break down. This is not a bad thing. In fact, it is how your body gets stronger. But here's the key. Your body can only repair and grow those fibers if it has the right building blocks. And those building blocks come from amino acids, the pieces that make up protein. Now, not all amino acids are the same. There is one in particular called leucine that acts like a light switch for muscle growth. Without enough leucine, your body cannot turn on the process that builds new muscle fibers. You could be eating plenty of calories, but if you are not getting enough leucine, you will not rebuild muscle effectively. A study published by the National Institutes of Health looked at seniors over the age of 65. They found that those who consumed a diet rich in leucine and high-quality protein built muscle 40% faster than those who relied on exercise alone. 40%, that is a big difference. And here is another interesting finding. When seniors had been lacking these nutrients for years, simply adding them back without changing their exercise routine led to noticeable strength gains in as little as 8 weeks. Why does this matter? Because many of my patients are already trying to stay active. They are walking. They are gardening. Some even go to the gym a couple of times a week. But if their diet is missing these essential nutrients, their progress is slow, sometimes so slow they feel discouraged and quit. Let me give you a picture. Imagine trying to fill a swimming pool with a garden hose. The water is coming in, but it is not enough to make a difference. That is what it is like to exercise without the right nutrition. The effort is there, but the results are minimal. So, what foods give you the most leucine and high-quality protein? Lean meats like chicken and turkey are good sources. Certain types of fish, especially tuna and salmon, are excellent. But there is one everyday food that delivers leucine in a form your body can absorb quickly, without heavy digestion. And that is the food we are going to focus on today. Before I reveal it, I want you to know something else about the research. It is not just about muscle size, it is also about function. Studies show that seniors who improved their protein and leucine intake were able to walk faster, climb stairs more easily, and recover balance more quickly if they stumbled. This is not just looking stronger, this is living stronger. Think about the difference that could make in your life. Being able to walk across the parking lot without stopping, carrying groceries up your front steps without feeling winded, getting out of bed in the morning without your knees or hips protesting. I have seen it happen. One of my patients, Bill, was 73. He came to me frustrated because his legs felt like lead weights. We adjusted his diet, added this one food every morning, and within 2 months, he told me he could mow his lawn again without taking breaks. That is not just nutrition on paper. That is quality of life in real life. Let me pause and ask you, does the idea of getting noticeably stronger in 2 months sound worth it to you? If your answer is yes, type stronger in the comments so I know you are ready to take action. All right, you now understand why exercise alone is not enough. You see how the right nutrient leucine flips the switch for muscle building. And you know that there is a way to get it from a simple food you can find in any grocery store in America. So, let us move on to the next part. I'm going to tell you exactly what that food is. why it works better for many seniors than expensive supplements, and how to add it to your morning in a way that fits your taste and lifestyle. We have covered the science of leucine and protein. Now it is time to give you the answer you have been waiting for. The number one food I recommend to my patients, the one that delivers leucine and high-quality protein in a form your body can use quickly, is cottage cheese. Yes, cottage cheese. It might sound simple. It might even sound old-fashioned, but it is a powerhouse for muscle rebuilding, especially for seniors. Here is why. Cottage cheese is rich in casein protein. Casein digests slowly, which means your muscles get a steady supply of amino acids for hours after you eat it. That is important because your body builds muscle not just in the hour after eating, but all day long. And cottage cheese is one of the best natural sources of leucine. Just 1 cup can give you close to 3 grams of leucine, enough to flip that muscle-building switch we talked about earlier. Another reason I love cottage cheese for seniors, it is soft, easy to chew, and gentle on digestion. You do not have to cook it. You do not have to blend it. You can just open the container, scoop it out, and enjoy. Now, let me share a quick story. I had a patient named Robert, age 72. He had trouble eating large meals in the morning. Coffee, maybe a piece of toast, that was it. But by 10 o'clock, he felt sluggish. We added half a cup of cottage cheese to his breakfast every day. Within 6 weeks, he told me, "Doc, my legs feel lighter. I can stand up from the couch without pushing on the armrest." That is the difference the right fuel can make. Here is how to choose the right cottage cheese at the store. Number 1, look for low fat or reduced fat if you are watching calories. But full fat is fine if you want the extra energy. Number 2, check the label for low sodium. Some brands pack in salt, which can raise blood pressure. Look for less than 400 milligrams of sodium per half cup serving. Number 3, choose a brand with simple ingredients. Milk, cream, salt, maybe a culture. Avoid the ones with long chemical names. You can find cottage cheese in almost every grocery store in America: Walmart, Kroger, Safeway, Publix. It is in the dairy section, near the yogurt. Now, let us talk about how to enjoy it so you will actually look forward to eating it. Breakfast ideas. Top cottage cheese with fresh berries and a drizzle of honey. Mix it with pineapple chunks for a sweet and tangy start. Spread it on whole grain toast with sliced tomatoes and a pinch of black pepper. Snack ideas. Pair it with a handful of walnuts for healthy fats. Add a spoonful of natural peanut butter for extra flavor and calories. Savory ideas. Use it as a topping for baked potatoes instead of sour cream. Blend it with herbs to make a high-protein dip for vegetables. And for those who do not like the texture, you can blend cottage cheese until smooth, and it becomes almost like cream cheese. You can spread it, stir it into oatmeal, or mix it into smoothies without even tasting it. Now, I want to address a question I get all the time. "Doc, can I just take a protein powder instead?" You can. But here's why I often recommend real food first. Cottage cheese gives you protein, leucine, calcium, and probiotics all in one. No added sugars, no artificial flavors. And for many seniors, real food is easier to digest and absorb than processed powders. Another thing, cottage cheese is affordable for just a few dollars. You can get enough for several days. Compare that to supplements that cost $30 or $40 a month. Now, let me ask you, do you already eat cottage cheese? If yes, type yes in the comments and share your favorite way to enjoy it. If not, let me know if you are willing to try it after today. Before we wrap up this section, I want you to remember, it is not just about eating cottage cheese once in a while. It is about making it a habit. Consistent nutrition, day after day, is what rebuilds your muscles. Think of it like putting money into a savings account. A little every day adds up over time. All right, now that you know the food, let us take it one step further. In the next part, I am going to share the golden habit that works hand in hand with this food to give you faster, stronger results without spending hours at the gym. Now, my friends, you know the food, you know why it works. But here is the truth. If you really want to rebuild your leg muscles and keep them strong, you need to pair that nutrition with the right kind of movement. I call this the golden habit. And no, I am not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. You do not need to join a fancy gym. What I am talking about is light resistance training, simple movements that gently challenge your muscles so they grow stronger. Why does this work so well with cottage cheese or any protein-rich food? Because when you do resistance exercise, you create tiny signals in your muscles. Those signals tell your body, we need to build more muscle here. Then, when you give your body the right nutrients like leucine and protein, your muscles have everything they need to respond. Think of it like planting a garden. The exercise is like turning the soil and making space for the seeds. The nutrition is the seeds themselves. Without both steps, you will not get a healthy garden. So what does light resistance training look like? Here are my top 3 moves for stronger legs after 60. Move number 1, sit to stand. Start from a sturdy chair. Place your feet hip width apart. Stand up slowly without using your hands. Sit back down slowly. Repeat 10 times. This strengthens your thighs, glutes, and improves balance. Move number 2, heel raises. Stand behind a chair and hold it for support. Lift your heels so you are standing on your toes. Hold for 2 seconds, then lower down. Repeat 15 times. This works your calves and improves ankle stability. Move number 3, side steps with resistance band. Place a light resistance band around your ankles. Step to the right for 10 steps, then to the left for 10 steps. This strengthens the hips, which are key for balance and preventing falls. These exercises can be done in 5 to 10 minutes a day, right in your living room. No gym membership, no complicated equipment. Let me share a story. Ellen, a 70-year-old patient of mine, started adding half a cup of cottage cheese to breakfast every day. Then she began doing the sit to stand and heel raises each morning while her coffee brewed. After 8 weeks, she told me, "Doc, I carried my laundry upstairs without stopping for the first time in years." That is what combining nutrition and movement can do. Now, a quick tip, always do your exercises after you have eaten your protein-rich meal. Why? Because your muscles are primed to use those nutrients for repair and growth in the hours right after you move them. So, for example, have your cottage cheese breakfast. Wait 30 to 60 minutes. Then do your 5 to 10 minutes of light resistance training. Another bonus tip, keep a simple progress log. Just write down how many repetitions you do each day. It is motivating to see your numbers go up over time. And if you miss a day, do not feel guilty. Just pick it up again the next day. Consistency is more important than perfection. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 moves do you think will help you the most? Type 1, 2, or 3 in the comments and tell me why. Your answer might give someone else the push they need to start. In the next and final part, we are going to bring it all together. I will recap the key points, give you one last piece of encouragement, and show you how to take the very first step today toward stronger, more confident legs. Let us bring this all together. Today, we talked about something that affects almost every person over 60 losing muscle in the legs. We learned that it is not just about getting older. It is about changes in hormones, activity, and nutrition. We talked about the science, how leucine acts like a switch for muscle growth, how exercise alone is not enough if your body does not have the right building blocks. We revealed the number 1 food I recommend to my patients, cottage cheese, a simple, affordable, and powerful source of protein and leucine that your muscles can use right away. We looked at real-life ways to enjoy it, and we added the golden habit light resistance training to help you rebuild your strength faster. Now, here's the most important part. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, but the change only happens if you take action. Start tomorrow morning. Add that cottage cheese to your breakfast. Do those 5 to 10 minutes of leg strengthening exercises and keep it going day after day, week after week. I have seen people in their 70s and 80s make incredible progress with these simple steps. They walk taller. They move with more confidence. They live without fear of falling. And you can too. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this time with me today. It means a lot to know you are taking your health seriously. I am here for you, and I am rooting for you every step of the way. Before we say goodbye, I have a favor to ask. If you learned something valuable today, please click the like button. It helps more seniors find these senior wellness tips. Share this video with a friend or family member who might be struggling with weak legs. You could be giving them the exact information they need to change their life. And most importantly, leave a comment below. Tell me one thing you will start doing today to protect your leg muscles. Your words might inspire someone else to take their first step. And of course, Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you will never miss a health tip that could keep you strong, independent, and living life on your terms. Thank you, my friends. I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay strong, stay active, and take care of yourself.